am on the last clue, finally, and you know, it's the race to the finish. Hello, my name is Michelle, and this is Michelle's Fiber Studio podcast. Today is Tuesday, January 27th, and this is episode number 78. Well, good morning. It is 7:30 in the morning. We had a delayed start this morning. I'll get to all that. So I figured I would capitalize on my 2 extra hours and record because I know the rest of my week is getting to be a little hectic and busy. So it is sunny out right now, although it is very, very cold. It's currently 4 degrees. And we are coming off of a really significant snowstorm. We actually had no school yesterday, and that's why we're delayed this morning, because it kind of continued snowing into the early hours, and so they're giving us a couple hours for cleanup. So that said, this is probably going to be a slightly shorter episode anyway, because the last time I recorded was on Wednesday. It's only Tuesday. And I spent the majority of my time on pretty much one project, so not a whole lot to report. So, but what am I wearing? And of course I didn't find out it was going to be a delayed start until after I was fully dressed and ready for school. Hence also why I have a little bit of extra time this morning to record. But I am wearing my Longline cardigan by Locatelli. This I knit, it actually took me 9 months to knit. I started in July of 24, didn't finish it until the very end of March of 25. It is knit primarily out of Regia Premium Bamboo. It's a wool bamboo nylon blend. I supplemented with some Gusto wool. I talked about this a whole lot last on the podcast when I was knitting it, so I won't go into great details, but it is one of my most favorite sweaters ever. Matter of fact, I think it was my favorite that I pulled out in my year in review, so I just talked about it a fair amount. And then on top, I have my Islands in the Stream shawl by Lisa K. Ross of Paper Daisy Creations. This is knit using Dirty Water Dye Works Lillian. She's a local dyer, Maine or New Hampshire, I don't remember which. I get her yarn a lot at some of the fiber festivals that I attend in Maine. And the colors are March Sky and the Moon Shadow Gradient. And I don't remember if I was podcasting. I think I was when I knit this. This is really old yarn. I got it, I think it was 2017, and I finally pulled it out a couple years ago and knit it. I knit it from June 14th of 24 to July 19th of 24, so it took me just over a month to knit this. I actually have a fair amount of leftovers that I have set aside because I really want to use them in a pair of socks, and I have yet to get to those socks. So maybe this year I can get those done. I actually have a project even all set up because I've figured out how to stripe it to use the most. Like, I've got it all figured out. I just need to do it. So that would be a good thing if I could get that done this year. Let's dive into my project bag and see where I am at. I think I will start with my mystery MusiKAL. I am on the last clue, finally, and you know, it's the race to the finish. I really would love nothing better than to finish this month, but I don't know, we'll see. So anyway, let's take a look at my progress. I want to make sure I don't lose any of my stitches. So I believe last Wednesday when I recorded, I had just begun the border, which is the final section is the border. I'm trying to find my stitch marker. Was it on this side? It's probably hidden behind all of these. I don't know where my stitch marker went. Well, I'm gonna have to go find it, or did I just never move it? Well, anyway, Oh yeah, oh, here it is. It never got moved. But I know I was just starting the border. So there is a, oh, was I not? I don't remember. No, I wasn't just starting the border. I was still working this slip stitch section. So my marker isn't, I was just starting the slip stitch section. Oh my goodness, I got a lot done. I'm really proud of myself. Okay, there we go. Let's back this show up just a little bit. So here is the slip stitch section. Oh my gosh, say that 10 times fast. Apparently I need more coffee. So I actually really like this section. It was a combination of all of the colors. Really fun. It was fun to knit and I really like the effect. So that might be patterning or pattern stitch that I keep track of because I really enjoyed it and that would make a fun project all in its own right. And then after that, I finished that on Sunday while we were watching our Patriots win and clinch a seat at the Super Bowl. But at any rate, I did finish that on Sunday and then I picked up, well, I didn't have to pick up anything because this was all done in short rows. But then you start working all the way across the entire shawl. And this is where I definitely don't want to lose my stitches. And there is a brioche border. There are 3 sections of brioche with 2 4-row garter sections in between. And then it is completed with an I-cord border. So like I said, I would like nothing more than to finish this project by the end of January, which is Saturday. But I don't know because there are about 500 stitches now per row. And of course with brioche, you're knitting and slipping, but you're going across each row twice, which means, and it's an 8-row brioche section, which means basically it's 16 passes plus 4, 16, 4, right? And I'm finding, I think partly because I did so much knitting over the weekend to push to get to this last clue, my arms are really tired and I am struggling to do more than a couple of rows. So I'm really trying, I don't want to hurt myself. I'm trying to be gentle. I just squeezed in a row just before I podcasted, got another row in. So I'm gonna pick away at it. We'll see where it lands. If I don't finish it this weekend, I'm going to be really close, which is very exciting. So let's talk about my yarn, mostly because I'm excited to show you how little yarn is left. I mean, I'll have enough to finish it, but so let's see. And I don't remember, this is all Knit Picks yarn. I don't remember which color is which. I can tell you the 4 colors are Guava Cream Macaron, Wings of Renewal, Straighten Your Crown, and Rest, Relax, and Recharge. I think that's Rest, Relax, and Recharge, but look how that's getting used up. This one is, I think is the most that is used up, which I'm going to have to weigh because I was hoping to do the I-cord bind off in this one. This is my yellow, and I do know for sure that this one is the Guava Cream. And then I do have a little bit of the mohair left. I have decided maybe in the garter sections. That's maybe where I could use my mohair. I decided I didn't want the mohair in the brioche sections. So I've left it out so far. There's so much yarn. And it gets tangled. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, let me pull it up again. So I decided I didn't want it in the brioche sections. I'm just doing straight yarn. And the brioche sections alternate, so it's 2 different colors each time. Stephen did a great job in this pattern where in each section he really does lay out exactly how much yarn you're using for each component. For the most part, so it's really helpful in planning using your yarn and such, which is great. So I decided I just didn't want, I wanted the actual colors to shine through, and so yeah, I'm not using the mohair, but maybe I will on the garter section. I guess it depends on what colors I'm using for the garter section. I have not looked that far ahead. I have, however, a ton of ends. There are, show the back. There are so many ends. Many of these are knit over, and so they just need to be trimmed. A good chunk of them do need to be woven in and then trimmed, but I don't like to trim ends, especially in a shawl of this size, before or until after I have blocked it. And so it's been washed, I always spin my knits out in my washing machine, spin them out, and then lay them out to dry. And then once it's dry, then I will go through and trim the ends. So they are driving me bonkers because they're getting tangled on everything and it's a real pain. But I gotta tough it out just a little longer. So anyway, will I have a finished object for next week's podcast? Stay tuned. So this one definitely got the lion's share of my attention. The other two projects are gonna be fairly quick. Let's start with my Imagination Quilt, which is by Meema Makes, M of Meema Makes. I am using my Small-A-Days set from Emma's Yarn, my 2025 Advent, and I only got 1 day's colors done, but that's my little stack here. So I have a whole stack of 8 with these 2 colors, and a chunk of these I did last night because I needed to rest from the knitting. I have 3 solid squares and then 2 squares that are done with the yellow and the white. So that is, you know, it's I'm picking away, and that's okay. I don't have any solid plan as a timeline. I'm just seeing how much I can get done when. Yeah, so that's, but I finished color 14. I did last night wind up color 15, so that one is ready to go. I do need to photograph it and weigh it, which is something I've been trying to do, weigh all of the minis prior to using them. So once we're done here, I will do that, and I don't know if I will, maybe I'll try to get another row knit before, or 2 before I head off to school. So the last project that I'm going to talk about is my 2 best friends socks, and I got a nice chunk done on these. So here we are. I was right here on Wednesday, and I got all of this done, and all of that was done on Saturday morning, and I will tell you a little bit later what I was doing. But yeah, they're close. They are really, really close to being ready for the toe. Come on, all of my 4 needles here are kind of getting in my way. So yeah, I have, so you can see the top of my needles here. So I have what, like my fingertips. So I have maybe an inch, is that what that is? Yeah, I would say about an inch, inch and a half left, and then I'm ready for the toe, and then I can start the next one. So I'm very excited. These socks, again, I am doing in the Little Wolf Knits. There's her tag. It is 2 best friends. And here is my yarn. Fun yarn, really, really fun colors. So that is the bulk of my knitting. It's not just the bulk, it is the only knitting. I did yesterday when I needed to rest my arm. I picked up my cross stitch. I can show you again. Ooh, back here. But I haven't gotten a ton done on it. I actually spent, so yesterday I worked, you can barely see it, it's very light, but I worked on her face, a little bit in her hair. And then I spent a bunch of time, probably 45 minutes or so, playing with the chart and adjusting colors around the face, and primarily around the face. Again, the program did a great job transferring, but there's a lot of what they call confetti, which is lots of little stitches here and there. And then also because it was coming off a photograph that was done in bright sunlight, and you've got the highlights and the shadows, there were some greens in the face and some like really funky colors that's how it translated those shadows. So I tried to smooth those out so that it's mostly, you know, the skin tones. So yeah, that's where my projects are at today. Well, that brings me to my day-to-day section. I don't have anything new on my yarn shelf. Oh, I do have, this is gonna be really, really brief, so it doesn't deserve its own section, but my good friend bought me it's a late Christmas gift, and she gave it to me on Saturday morning, but it's a little needle minder, and I love it. So they're magnetic, which is super fun, and it came in this little coffee bag. So I have actually clipped it to the bag, so hopefully I won't lose it, because I had one and then I lost it. But she knows me well. She knows I love my coffee and I love my Jesus. So I am very much enjoying that right now. So let's see, day to day. I recorded on Wednesday, so I only have 2 things that are noteworthy. It was a pretty quiet end of the week. I didn't have anything going on in the evenings. Saturday morning, we had a ladies' breakfast, which is how I got all of that sock knitting done. So that was super fun. We tried to do that, I don't know, I'd like to say once a quarter, and I think we would like to say we're going to do it once a quarter. It ends up being 2 or maybe 3 times a year where we get together and we just have a brunch. So that was super fun, ladies from my church. And we did that at a member's house, and it really had a great couple of hours together of fellowship. And I sat after I ate my breakfast and knit on my sock. So I got a lot done on the sock that morning. That was really, really great. We went and visited my mother-in-law that evening. And then the big story is the big snowstorm, which you've probably seen or heard of. Sunday, it started around 2:30, and it went all night and all day yesterday. It stopped briefly, and then we got another little charge that came through late evening and into the overnight hours, another like 3 inches or so. I think all told, we got somewhere in the 12 to 14 inch range. I have a couple pictures I can pop up that I took yesterday morning, because the bulk of it came through from Sunday night into Saturday morning. But we were supposed to have yesterday a teacher workshop day, so the kids never were intended to go to school, but the teachers were. And we got our call Sunday at noon that they were canceling the workshop. And I'm told that they are going to stick it at the end of the school year, which is kind of a bummer, because we already have 2 teacher workshop days after the kids leave, and those are tough. Let's be real. And any of you who work in education know that come June, everybody is toast. And so having to do 2 teacher workshop days after the kids get out is really hard to begin with. And now we have 3. But we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll be nice and they'll give it to us as a wellness day. They've done that before, where we have orders to do something special for ourselves. And in any event, I know my principal well, and he's going to make it fun and easy and laid back and not hard. And it was grand to have a day yesterday, and now we're still in cleanup mode, so we've got a couple of hour delay this morning. So, but then the other big fun thing was on Sunday. It was football Sunday. I'm not a huge football fan, but our New England Patriots were in the AFC, right? See, that's how much I don't know football. The AFC Championship game, and they won, so that was fun to watch. What was really kind of cool-ish is it was in Denver, and I don't know if you watched it or not, but the weather, it started out bare field. I think it was even sunny. And then as the game progressed, a storm came in, and after the second half, it started snowing. And by the 4th quarter, you could not see the field at all. And of course, it was snowing outside our window at the time too, so it was really kind of a fun parallel. But it was a low-scoring game. It was 10-7. We won 10-7, and all of the scoring was done in the first half of the game. I'm pretty sure. I don't think the field goal came. I think it was 10-7 going into the half. So once that snow came in, it was no mercy. But that was fun. So we sat and watched that on Sunday while it was snowing, and I was knitting, and it was great. So that is pretty much the updates for me. I am excited to see what I can get done this coming week. It might be another brief podcast next week, because I know a lot of my focus is going to be on that shawl final push to get that baby done. And whatever else, if I need to rest my arms or I just need a little break and something different, that's when I'm going to pull out the other projects. I didn't even take out my Deck the Halls shawl this week at all. So, of course, again, it's only been since Wednesday when I recorded. So, and this is Tuesday morning. So basically it's been, what, 5 days. So anyway, I'm starting to ramble. So I will have links down below in the show notes for everything that I have talked about. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Knittin Michelle, KNITTINMICHELLE. You can also send me an email if you would like at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. I thank you so very much for listening. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And with that, I hope you have a fantastic week and happy knitting.